Hello, Just Too Good here, back from the review, and today we're doing stuff a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at the whole LEGO Mixels Series 5 Lixers tribe. That's all three of these sets, plus the Max figure in this very video. So we'll take a look at basically 4 builds all together, and I'm going to rate this whole tribe as a whole at the end. And so there's actually a timestamp right here if you just want to see the Max figure. But for now, these are actually set number 415, 4-2, 4-3, and then 4-4, and these all have around about 60 pieces, and they all retail for $5 in the United States. And let's just give another chance to LEGO Mixels, or at least I'm giving another chance to LEGO Mixels, and let's start with Spugg right here. Alright, so the first one we're going to take a look at is Spugg, and this guy is kind of like the dog of the Lixers, and he's just kind of crazy. He gets excited with strangers, according to his official description, and he has some interesting parts and just an interesting design overall. I like how they kind of made this 4-legged design right here. And what they did was they used these mini ball joints just like most of the Mixels line does. But what you have is you could kind of pose these legs to do different kind of positions for this little dog-like creature. And that's kind of fun overall. I like doing that. I like just mixing around with these. And they all use this kind of similar thing that a lot of the Mixels use for their feet, where they use kind of these slopes just kind of flat, or use this flat kind of the flat side of a brick. Which makes sense because it makes it very stable. But you can do different positions with that. And his face is absolutely crazy. What they have is they kind of have it on this Technic pin, so it just kind of spins around. And so you could do really funny different kind of positions with his face as well, or his head. Which you can see that he does have those nice printed eye pieces on those Technic balls, or little ball pieces right there. And he has this tongue sticking out, which is one of those spike pieces in red, which actually looks really funny. And he has those crazy teeth right there, so he's always like yelling, and it just looks really, really funny overall. Probably the funniest of these three, but probably not my favorite because, I don't know, the compact design, it just, I guess, it just looks a little bit too crazy to be one of my favorites. But my favorite is actually kind of crazy as well, which we'll get to him later. But that's really it for this guy. Now let's take a look at the next one. Alright, so this guy is my favorite, and he is just crazy. This one is Turg, and I just love his tongue popping out like this. Now, Turg is actually unique because he also has a Nixel in them, because, each, or at least one member of the tribe, they don't really say who it is, includes one Nixel to them. And this Nixel kind of has an interesting design. They all kind of look a little bit like cats, but this one has this printed face right here, which is pretty cool. And this one kind of has his arm sticking out, which I think is kind of funny. So that's kind of a cool design. But that guy goes to the side because really Turg takes the cake with this just weirdness of this set. I like how they kind of use these sloping pieces right here, these roof pieces, to kind of slope down like that on the back. It actually gives kind of a cool design. And he also has these really, really funny little arms sticking out on the side. Dude, these Mixels are crazy. These little arms right here, which, oh my gosh, look, you can kind of position it like that or that, and they're all on these little hinges, so that provides for some fun right there. And like I said, my favorite part is this huge tongue right here, which you could kind of just mess around with because it uses that little spike piece that kind of sticks out. Of course, 2 pieces right there. And you get those in red, which are actually a little bit uncommon in that color. And so you could position this section right here, since it's a totally different piece, to different kind of parts. And overall, just a really funny looking guy with also this nice printed eye right here, which has appeared in some of the other, I think, the glow keys for the LEGO Mixels from earlier in this year. Then his legs right here have that same kind of flat design to them, where they use basically the flat side of the bricks, and they're just kind of connected to these Technic bowl receivers right there. So that's kind of it, and you can kind of position them to any way you want, but that's it for Turg, just a weird looking guy in general. And now let's go on to the last of these little Lixers. And here is Tungster, and I'm kind of amazed that they didn't include the Nixel in this one, because his description says that he likes licking Nixels, which is a little bit weird, but that's Mixels for you. They're really just kind of a weird theme. And this guy I like for his tongue as well, just kind of like how I like Turg. But I like his tongue to a lesser extent. I think it could have actually been a little bit better on how they designed his tongue. But looking at the back, I love this use of these little Chima Phoenix wings. That's actually kind of a cool design. And the cool part with that is that his head is actually positioned on that little ball joint right there, so you could open it all the way like this, and then slam it down like that, which just looks really funny. And like I said, his tongue I like. It probably would have been my favorite if they got the tongue just a little bit better, because look at this. It would be cool to kind of be able to put his tongue back in his mouth and maybe close his mouth. But this part kind of stops at these little, this little jumper plate right here and then these little slopes. Though it would be kind of hard to make a mechanism where you could stick his tongue back or fold it back in his mouth. So, I don't know. If they had where you could fold his mouth all the way and then close his head like that, I think that would have made him my favorite or something like that. But for now, he still looks really wacky, and his tongue is just kind of slopping around. Also, he does have a little space so that you could put a Mixel on there. Maybe put him like this. And there you go. He could lick it up like that. But other than that, he does have, again, that little kind of roof pieces, or these kind of roof slopes right here, inverted so that you could kind of have a flat surface for his legs. And those serve as his legs attached to these ball joint receivers on the sides right there. So that's it for this guy. And now let's go on to the Lixers Max, all right? So I'm using the instructions on lego.com, so let's make him. And here is the Lixers Max. What a really, really just crazy creature, but that's really what you'd expect from Mixels. And what I like about him is he really took just the best, or my favorite parts, out of all of the models that are in this tribe, all three of them, and he is just all those combined. For example, he has that big tongue that I love from Turg, but he even has it better because what he has is a cool play feature where this little part right here, you could spin around, and it just moves around like that. So you could easily rotate it from the back. I love that, and since it's split in two sections, you can make even more poses with that tongue. And it's made out of 3 red pieces. There's actually a connector piece inside there. Nothing too special there, but still just a big, long tongue. And then the other favorite parts that I like is Spugg. His eyes, they used Spugg's eyes, which I think are probably my favorite eyes of all 3. And also Spugg's dog-like design, which they used for just the basic body. And then from Tungster, they used Tungster's little wings back here, which I think actually make for just a cool little addition. So he could kind of fly a bit, but I don't know if that would be really too heavy. So it's just kind of like these little pathetic wings on the back. Now, looking at his back, he does have a tail, which is actually kind of cool. That's connected on the ball joint, which is one of those ball joints that are stuck at the end of those plates. So you can kind of rotate it to whichever way you want. And then all 4 of his legs are all on these ball joints with those plates. And again, like they use with all these other Mixels, they put just the flat sides of some of these bricks, and then they put them like that, so you could kind of just position them any way, and you could, put them in all different positions since there's 4 different ones to make kind of these funny poses. So that's fun to do as always. And I also really like how they did his eyes. Like I said, they're using Spugg's eyes, but what they did was they put Spugg's eyes on at the end of these little ball joints where they have the Technic pin and then the ball joint at the other end. And that makes you, or allows you to rotate them in many ways, or even pop them up like this, so you can make his eyes go up like this, which honestly, while this isn't the official way, I like it when it looks like that better than I like it when it's on the side. But you could also put it upside down like that, which looks a little bit creepy, but still very cool. And he looks a little bit angry right there. So just really got to use your imagination to kind of play with these positions and everything, which is so fun for me. I love positioning stuff with ball joints. And also what I really like is that his whole head is actually on a ball joint, one of those plates with the ball joint stuck at the end as well. So you could rotate it to different ways. If you get really creative, that's kind of creepy. And you can't really push it down because it's blocked by these 2 little parts right here. So that's still kind of cool. Really love how that came out. Love the bright colors on him. Love the yellow and the orange, just like all the other ones of this wave. And that's it for the Lixers Max. And now let's go on to the packaging and then the final verdict. All right, and here are the packagings for these sets. Love this kind of orange color they use on the front of the packaging, and just the color of the tribe all together. And you can see it says Lixers Max right there. And then you do get 3 instruction booklets, one for each of the sets. So there they are right there. They don't have too many interesting ads or anything like that, unfortunately. So overall, I'll say this. I'm impressed. Not that I wasn't expecting any less from LEGO, but these LEGO Mixels sets never really, I guess, well, I like the first wave and stuff like that, but I don't know, but these really did live up to my expectations, and they are what they are. They're cute, kind of mishmash of kind of different creatures into this one really fun build that's based on just a drawing that they have, which I think is awesome. I actually like how they do that, where they give you this drawing or this artwork, and it seems like the LEGO designers base off of that and use their best to just use these basic pieces and some printed pieces to kind of illustrate that character. And these are really fun to play with. They look wacky, they're absolutely crazy, and in the end, I think they succeed for what they are. Great sets for the price. I just wish there was more unique pieces in this wave in particular, because I know some of the other LEGO Mixels wave have some great pieces in them. And this one doesn't have the most unique pieces, but it still looks pretty cool with all those kind of orange and yellow colors, which I love orange and yellow. So I'm really pleased for this. So I'll give this whole wave a B+ altogether. As for the LEGO Mixels Series 5 Max figure, it just really brings out just my favorite parts from all of the other 3 models, like the big tongue from Turg, the little flying things or the flying little wings right there from Tungster, and then that dog-like design from Spugg, which I like, and that's really what the Max model should be. It should be just as conglomerations of just the best parts of all of the 3 models, and I like how that came out. And again, these are the Lixers. You know, if you haven't thought of it, it's because they have these big tongues, so Lickers, Lixers, ha ha ha. So yeah, I can't really rate this Max model altogether, but I do really like it, and I think it's just another great play value or play feature from buying all 3 from this single tribe altogether. So that's it for the Max model of the tribe of the Lixers, and for the 3 Lixer sets. And you guys can post your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.